You are listening to the Coach's Corner Show on KYNT, Yankton's home team. Now, let's get you caught up on Yankton High School athletics with KYNT Sports Director and the voice of the Bucks and Gazelles, Bryce Ladwig.
And good morning. This is the Coach's Corner. Bryce Ladwig in the studio with you here this morning. Happy homecoming to all of Yankton. It was a great week of festivities and school pride, and of course the 48-0 victory for the Yankton Bucks last night over the Brookings Bobcats. Yankton football goes to 5-1 on the season, as we always do on the Coach's Corner. Basically, our first hour of the show will be Yankton Bucks football talk, and we'll talk all other Yankton High School athletics in the second hour, maybe a little bit into the first hour as well. But that is all around the corner. We do not have Yankton High School Activities Director Ryan Moores in this morning, but I'm sure if he was here, he would say it was a great week of festivities, as I mentioned. Homecoming, no one does it better than Yankton. We've heard that all week on various interviews, and it really is the case. I would say that last night's crowd was impressive, as it was a sold-out Craig Youngworth Field, or really close to it, I would assume. But that's kind of usually the crowd. That's usually the way the crowd is all the time. So that's really nothing different. But you could tell just a little special last night. Homecoming always brings out the best in Yankton. So we'll talk about all that coming up here on the Coach's Corner. I am Bryce Ladwig. Our pre-recorded interviews that we will have today, some of them are brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, a phone line. So we continue with Coach Brady Muth, Coach Justin Olson, when we come back from our first break here on the Coach's Corner. Good morning.
Lancer Days 2023 begins in Yankton on Monday, September 25th and goes through Sunday, October 1st. Coronation will be on Thursday evening at 7:30 in Marion Auditorium. The parade will be in the downtown Meridian District on Saturday at 9:30. Tailgate begins at 3 o'clock on Saturday at Memorial Park, and the football game starts at 6. Mount Marty can't wait to see you and celebrate. Go to mountmarty.edu/Lancer Days to RSVP and see the full listing of events.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3, 7, or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3, 7, or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location, with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Hello, here's to welcoming moments, big and small, embracing the unexpected, savoring life. At Avera, our nationally recognized health system will be right here with you, ready for anything. We listen to your goals and help you achieve them with care and coverage. We'll move you forward through sickness and health and every milestone in between. Avera, moving health forward. Learn more at avera.org/forward.
Truxedo is proud to have been part of the Yankton community since its start in 2000.
One of the things I love most is that they believe in promoting from within. I've been given many opportunities to advance.
Truxedo has an extensive variety of benefits available to their employees.
The work environment at Truxedo is extremely positive.
We are looking for you to join our production team. Visit www.truxedo.com/careers to apply.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966, and with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
With life insurance, Rhonda Westland with State Farm's got you and your future. You would do anything to protect your family and ensure that they have a bright future. But have you considered how your loved ones would continue on financially if you were no longer here? Life insurance is a simple and affordable way to answer that question. It allows you to say to your loved ones, "I've got you," and mean it. For more information, visit Rhonda Westland with State Farm at 1023 West 9th Street in Yankton.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's start talking Yankton Bucks football. Yankton victorious over the Brookings Bobcats last night. Homecoming night, 48-0. Being joined by Coach Brady Muth, Coach Justin Olson. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning,
Bryce.
Good morning, Bryce.
All right, let's jump right into this. Big win on homecoming, defending home turf. It doesn't matter when a team, and you would mention this before, Coach Muth, it doesn't matter what a team's record is. When any team has an opportunity to play spoiler, that's a dangerous team, and Brookings is one of them. But Yankton defending home turf.
Yeah, our kids, with all the activities and festivities going on, I thought we did a really good job of balancing that, being involved. We had some guys up for royalty and just enjoying everything about being a high school kid during homecoming. They're going to remember that for the rest of their lives, just like they are the football game. So, but balancing that with when we showed up at 4:15, make sure you punch your time card and we're ready to go to work. And we've talked as a staff about this group, and every group is different, but just the level of focus that is in the locker room before the game is something that's, they've really dialed in, and to be that laser focus for a start of a homecoming game, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. But to come out and execute that way and put on a good show for everybody on homecoming, it was really satisfying.
Well, you're mentioning the tradition that Yankton has, one of the best homecoming traditions in the state, and a win just really caps off that kind of tradition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And our guys really leaned into that, I think, this year. Coach Miner came and talked to us before practice on Thursday, and to be able to have someone like that's been involved in the program for a long time to come and just impart some knowledge and to share with our kids what it is they're a part of is valuable. And, there's two things when you're in a program like this. You can run from that tradition and the accountability that comes with it, or you can grab onto it and really make it, an asset in what you're trying to do. And our kids understand that. And then last night, to have a crowd like that, and it's neat to have the Hall of Famers out there and to understand that you're part of a bigger something. It makes it a little bit more easy to motivate when they understand that this is a bigger thing, bigger than themselves, and they got to hold the rope.
Well, some X's and O's. Coach Olson was talking Yankton defense. Held Brookings to 57 yards total offense. Couldn't quite get it under 50, huh? Just couldn't quite do it.
But to be honest, I wasn't really running the tally as we're going. It's
just yell up at me, just like, hey, where are we at? I'm just joking.
I knew things were going well. And I was actually excited after when I woke up this morning. I was just like, I'm just kind of curious on what I was going to come back and check out the Stat Master, which is yourself here, and see what those
Master's a little generous.
Well, I got to make sure we keep them coming. So to see that stat, I was very pleased with that, and those, like Coach Moose said, everyone was focused in on what they needed to do. I thought we had a good week of prep. Everyone keen on their keys and just flying around to the football. And if you watch the film back, or if you're at the game, you probably saw all 11 hats to the football, and there was a lot of red around a white ball carrier. It was fun to watch them, and that's a great thing to hold on to as we go forward.
Anytime you can pitch a shutout. Go ahead, Coach.
Sorry, the thing to me that is, I'm just a bystander watching. The thing to me that was the most impressive is, especially defensively, all week long, our coaches are working drills and in their in group sessions and in individual sessions, and to see all of that show up. That we talked about this last night, Coach Olson and I did. That pick that Carson made, he made that how many times in practice? It showed up in practice, and we were actually walking on the field, and I just said, I'm curious to see how many picks we get tonight. Austin jumped a route early on. He made that pick a million times during practice. And so to me, just watching that, I'm really proud of our staff to put things in play during the week to implement them and then have them show up as a coach, that's really gratifying. It means your kids are buying in, and you got guys that are doing a good job and teaching people the right way to do things, and then they show up. It just validates everything we're doing, and it gives our guys a little bit more confidence, and that's going to be important here as we move forward.
And I think with, in the same note, the kids are talking about buying in and doing those little things, just the little things, right? Like little extra film study and looking at all the sheets that are coming home, defensive sheets and tendencies and stuff like that. It's showing up. These guys want to get to where they want to go and be that great team. They're even more so now than even before the beginning of the season. It's kind of fun to see kind of them be students of the game. And not just kind of just placing themselves in the game, just all right, let's go. So it's fun to see that that coming out of them.
Well, is that the difference? Because I was going to mention, there's been some good Yankton defenses in recent history. That's not taken away from anyone in the last few years, but there does seem something different. That does seem to be something different about this defense, the aggressiveness, or maybe it's just the consistency, right? Of like right away, those first drives, not just against Brookings, but everyone, they just seem to just pin their ears back and they just seem to be going after the ball with just a little extra competitiveness this year.
Yeah, it helps when you got the dudes. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But and I mean, to be honest with you, Bryce, I mean, it's the guys, like I said, it's just prep work. It's just the competitiveness, and it doesn't just. I mean, it's not just on the football field. It's happening with this group in basketball, in baseball. They're competing, so it's just you have this group of kids, and I think I'll be honest, I see it below too. So. Yeah. I think it's a part mix of the type of kids that these kids are turning into, and that's kind of probably a part of what we're doing as a program, down to the lower levels too. And we have a great staff from 7th grade on up to the varsity level, and sharing their knowledge and putting these kids in the right spots and just letting them play football. And it's fun to watch, and hopefully we will we'll remain that high level of consistency across the board too.
Well, as everyone knows, I try to hit most of the players during the show, whether it's talking to you two coaches or the rest of the coaches as we move on in the morning. But I want to do about 3 or 4 quick hits, Coach Olson, and then we'll talk a little more offense and then wrap up our segment. But you can speak on each of these kind of positions. First, talk about that D-line again, a little more detail. Another night, Tyson Prouty returns. He had a big sack. And I guess we'll start with him in the sense that he gets hurt. I think it was like the first drive, right?
First series of the Spearfish game.
Yeah, the first drive of the Spearfish game. And, I talked to him about every practice, because we go there to interview Coach Muth and some players. And I always ask him, hey, how you feeling? How you feeling? He's like, I'm getting closer. And now finally, I think he had this one circled on his calendar. How nice is it to see him out there?
It's awesome. I mean, for a kid that had high expectations coming into the season and then goes out, and doesn't know if he's gonna get back. But with the help of the doctors and Kevin O'Brien, PT and whoever else helped him in the PT realm, and then Trevor helping out, and then just coming back and he wasn't just a guy on the sideline. He was still involved on the sideline. Okay, and just kind of absorbing everything that's going on and just waiting. And he did the things that he needed to do to get back. And to be honest, we were all a little nervous because he's a special player and he's put in a lot of work in the off season, and we know what his goals are, and so we were just nervous. We're just hoping and praying that he's going to make it through when he gets us in there. And little by little, as practices went on this week, he got stronger and stronger, and then faster and faster, more confident in what he was doing, and it showed up last night. And he was just bummed that. He got one sack. He's like, oh, just so close to the second. And but he said it without even smiling. He's just like, oh, he's like he's kind of ticked about it. He's like, ah. So, I mean, his passion's there, his drive's there. And so we just got to make sure we're still kind of monitoring him so we're not getting ahead of ourselves. But, yeah, we're glad to have Tyson back. That helps us out tremendously. And the kids rallied around that too, which is fun to see.
The rest of the defensive line did a nice job, especially the big guys up front, slowing down the run up the middle. And then we already mentioned the edges. They really just set the edges, shut it down, force Brookings to run up the middle, right? And those big guys are waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. Derek Beal and Riker Frang, and then we have some other guys that rotate in there with Peyton Eustace. But Those guys, man, when they eat up blockers like they do, they take on two people that, I mean, you could see it. I mean, our linebackers were free to make the plays, and as soon as the linebackers got the read, it was just so much fun to see the read. And, you know, Bryce and Matthew Sheldon just hit where they needed to hit, and I don't know how many tackles they got, but it seemed like their names were being called a whole bunch of times.
A lot of tackles.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, those guys, and they know. And Derek and Riker know that they're not going to get their name in the paper and stuff like that, but, you know, they're being noticed, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
The one thing that I just want to jump in here about our D-line, the one thing that is fun that's developed is those guys hang together as a group. So those guys that are rotating on our front, those guys are really tight. You see them walking down the hallway. They're at lunch together. I mean, it's kind of an interesting little brotherhood that they've created within those four positions, where these guys are pretty proud of what they're doing, and that's, like you said, it shows up. Sorry, I'll get out of this.
No, you never have to. It's literally the coach's shows. You know? No, that's fine. No, anytime you want to jump in. But yeah, you mentioned the D-line, just so I want to give them a credit. And then our quick hitters again. Speaking of being hit, this is someone I would never want to be hit by. Matthew Sheldon, you did talk to him about him a bunch, so you don't have to go too much detail. But one of the last players I would assume that an opposing running back, for example, wants to see bearing down on him.
Yeah, you know, he just has that unique, strength, speed, quickness, intelligence. I mean, if you're gonna drop a start of a football player on Madden, I mean, you're gonna probably
he looks like Matt Sheldon.
He looks like Matthew Sheldon. You know, so yeah, he changed from 45 to 5, and we're all like, I don't know. Well, then, you know what? Hey, he's a dude, and yeah, glad he's on our side.
The entire secondary has done a nice job, especially last night. You mentioned Goebel knocking down some passes. There was just a lot of what could have been interceptions, but who cares? They knocked the ball down, did what they had to do.
Yeah.
But Carson Ness, he had that big pick six. That was our move of the game just because of, I mean, Yankton already had momentum on their side. It was just one of those kind of putting a stamp on it, right? Like, this is Yankton's night, and it really was.
Yeah, you know, and those guys have been working hard because that's our most inexperienced group on the defense. And so for them to kind of get the gel and stuff like that, because, I mean, to be honest with you, they need to work and communicate probably the most with all the routes that are coming through there. And for them to kind of take that next step, which we needed them to do, was really fun. And we're just waiting for it. You know, even from the beginning of the season, we're talking about all those guys. And, you know, Carson stepped up, like Coach said. He was on that route all during practice, and he got his chance, and he read it, and there was no doubt he was going to score that one. So it's fun to see that group develop and look out. I mean, hopefully that's not the first. Hopefully they keep on going.
And not to be overshadowed by the not to be overshadowed by the defense. Offense had quite the night too, Coach Muth. 460 yards total offense, a very balanced attack. 246 in the air, 214 on the ground. And is this kind of what you were wanting to do going into the game? Because that just almost 50-50.
Well, you know, offensively, this is a boring answer, but offensively, we really just try to take what the defense gives us. So when we go into a game plan and we don't look at, we have to run the ball this many times, we have to throw the ball this many times. When we talk about balance, we look at a spreadsheet, a hit chart, and we're just checking to make sure that we're at least targeting our playmakers and we're getting enough targets to each of those guys. Coach Huber has done a great job with the game plan as far as where we're at, and making that game plan, this may sound weird, but mentally accessible to kids. So kids know when we get into a play, it's going to be this or that. And we're starting to grab a hold of that a little bit better. The touchdown reception from that Shelley caught was a RPO. It's a quarterback trap on the inside, and then we just pop out Shelley on a dump. And on the headsets, everybody on the headset was saying Shelley's open, Shelley's scoring on this one. That's coaches do that, but Lucas came over. He's like, "Do you believe that? They just didn't even cover him." I'm like, "Yeah, we were all seeing it." But the connection, then, what I'm saying is that now everybody has access to that plan, not just the coaches, but the players too. Shelley knew he was going to get 6 on that as well. When that's going, it tells us that we're starting to understand the whys of what we're doing offensively. And when you get into that part of it and you really start fine-tuning, it gets really exciting. You just can't get satisfied because there's another level yet to get to. And we're getting there. But that's the one thing I don't have to worry about with these guys is they're not going to stop until they've had enough, and that final thing that they're chasing is in a couple, or down the road here in November. And so if we can keep doing that in the same way and we don't get satisfied and we keep our foot on the gas, we can go some pretty amazing places. We just got to stay hungry.
As I mentioned before, I'll talk about more individuals with the rest of the coaches, but I'll give you a couple here. You obviously start with your signal caller, Lucas Kamshoff, 13 of 20. You're just talking about him, 217 yards in the air. He had that touchdown. It just, as you always mentioned, steady Eddie, right? He's just out there and he's just leading the offense, and nice job again. Excuse me, nice job again last night.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I'm a little bit more of an excitable guy, and it's fun having Lucas around because he'll come to the sideline and I'm just juiced about whatever they just got done on doing on the field, and he's like, yeah, it was pretty good. Yep, all right. And he just never gets too excited, which is, for a guy in that position, you need a guy that's calm and cool back there, and Lucas is definitely that guy. But more than that, he's an intelligent kid and he's very talented, and it's we could say that about a lot of guys. We're just lucky to have him.
All right, and then you have another great night from Evan Sirk, another 115 yards on the ground. He had a rushing touchdown. And we've talked about him week after week after week. If you want to expand on that, that's fine. But I want to talk a little bit about Jay Sedlacek. Now, he comes in near the end of the game, got a lot of carries. He had 6 carries for 31 yards. In our preseason talk, you mentioned how he was just as much a viable back as the others, and he proved that again. It's just, is it one of those things where there's only so many carries you have in a game, and Shaler Platt and Evan Sirk just really have dominated the run game?
That's exactly it. I mean, we can say that when all of our skill groups, we have a 1A, 1B situation in almost all of those spots. You saw it last night when we put Nelly out on the field with a group of receivers. We set our number one line, and there's no real starters and reserves. Everybody's kind of the same. Jace is in that spot. He just hadn't gotten to that point yet. And, Evan did a good job of we preach all the time, go as fast as you can for as long as you can, and then get out. We'll get the next guy in. Jace had opportunities last night. We got him in with that next group as we were making subs and excelled. And we need to see that out of Jace. And so for Jace to get an opportunity, it's one thing for a kid to get an opportunity and earn an opportunity. It's another thing for a kid to make the most of that opportunity. Jace definitely did that. We got to pay attention to him, and everybody else does too. But he's going to be a special back and gives us another little answer, so there's no drop-off when the next guy needs to come in.
And then you had 2 receivers. I mean, a lot of receivers got some receptions last night, but Tucker Gilmore, Carson Ness, 2 more big nights. I think it was Carson Ness had the reception on the Yankton sideline where he was towing the line, right?
Yeah,
it was a really nice grab.
Yeah, those guys. And again, nothing happens by accident. All of those things are done. So like that type of work is done in pre-practice where these guys are working on those types of things that are very skill specific. It's fun to go out to practice and see a whole field of guys working on specialty skills that maybe you don't get into too much during a regular practice. They're doing that for 15 minutes before we get out there on their own. And though when those kind of things show up, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, that validates why we're doing that. And let's keep working that. And don't get satisfied, and let's see what else we can fix.
Yeah, I got to get you guys out of here soon. But so you have the homecoming, obviously, the game in hand. I see some players, some leaders on the team have headsets near the end of the game. So, and they stop the Brookings offense and they score. So I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked both you. I asked Coach Huber in the postgame. You guys scared for your jobs now? Or,
yeah,
obviously they've.
Yeah, actually, we're not going to film. We're just going to go hang out at home. They're
running it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to let kids have fun, and it's one of those things where we ask a lot of our guys. Our practice is Monday through Thursday. It's hard to remember that this is fun. We keep our foot on the gas, and so the whole point of that is so that when you get to a Friday, you get to enjoy all of the hard work you did. I mean, that Friday is supposed to be an enjoyment, and that they're having fun, and those guys on the way back to the school definitely told me that they were making better calls than everybody. We weren't listening to them. We didn't listen to them, so it doesn't matter. But no, I'm just kidding. But I listen, especially the way Lucas operates. This is no shade towards Coach Huber, but he could call a pretty good game too.
Yeah. And you were able to play a lot of depth last night, and I always love to see that on the defensive and offensive side. That's the future Yankton Bucks right there, and current Yankton Bucks, but the future of our starters. And it's really nice to see them get reps.
Yeah, they, speaking on the defensive side, even offensive side, both moved the ball and they still had some of their starters in and whatnot. So it's kind of fun to see. Obviously, a shutout is great for a defensive coach and an overall program. And they stepped up, and it was kind of one of those things where I think even Coach Muth said it. I think overheard you say something like, "Hey, we're all one. Okay, this isn't just a varsity, a JV thing." Said you take pride in what you're doing, and you hold them, to minimal yards and 0 scores, and they come in and they do it, and they move the football, and it was fun to see those kids play, and some of those kids, Brandon Hoover, almost got an interception there at the end, and that would have been fun to see, but
Well, like getting Easton in,
yeah,
taking a rep, in a game, and with our number one line out there, yet we are very careful of our backup quarterback situation because he's just, as precious as the starter, but to get him on the field and get him some game reps and to see him operate and execute, it's good for Easton, but it's really good for us to see that because we're seeing a kid that's developing and going along the process, and within the position groups, those guys have so much pride in what they do as a group that it's just fun to see everybody get a little bit of piece of the cake.
Don't look too far into how long you guys have been in here. Okay, so no, coaches, congratulations, a big victory last night. Thanks for joining us. Get to film, all right?
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, Bryce.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Core Trust helps your business thrive with checking, online bill pay, small business loans, credit card processing, local approval and support for government grants and loans, investments to grow your hard-earned assets, and insurance to protect them. All from Core Trust, the community bank that's right down the street and everywhere you want us to be. Visit coretrustbank.com today.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Traveling to Yankton for business or pleasure? Then book your stay at Yankton's two best hotels, the Fairfield Inn and Suites and Holiday Inn Express. Both are conveniently located to everything in Yankton. Both offer complimentary hot breakfasts and meeting rooms for business travelers. And if you want a great rate and still be able to change your reservation without a hassle, call either hotel direct. The Fairfield and Holiday Inn Express, two great hotel choices when visiting or arranging rooms for guests to Yankton.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MTRC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com. All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. We continue talking Yankton Bucks football. Here, Coach Brady Hill, Coach Terry Huber. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning, Brad. Good morning.
Were you guys wondering that very long segment with Coach Muth and Olsen if you were ever going to get in here?
A little
Absolutely. Bit. You're like, well, it's like noon.
Yeah.
That's what we're going on. All right, so a big day yesterday for Yankton because of homecoming and things of that nature. But I also feel like there was something else, another big deal yesterday. I just can't remember what it was.
I don't think there's anything else. Uh-oh. Happy birthday, Coach Huber. Yep, there it is. I didn't hear this one time.
Happy belated birthday, Coach Huber.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all my students, all the coworkers, the everybody that wished me a happy birthday yesterday. I appreciate it.
Well, I didn't know about it in the post game, or else I would have done that in the post game.
That's okay.
So you kept it on the down low. Yeah. But we got to figure it out. All right, let's start talking Yankton Bucks football, and let's start talking with Coach Hill, quarterback play. All right, so 3 signal callers yesterday. Lucas Kampshoff, 13 of 20, 217 in the air, a touchdown. I think that's to Matthew Sheldon, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tate Bestie also got some reps as well as Easton Nelson. Easton Nelson came out, I think it was for a drive.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just involved with other aspects of the game, obviously, so you want to make sure he doesn't get hurt, right? So, and then Tate Bestie comes out 2 of 2, 29 yards in the air. He had some big passes. I think that was both to Kale Hazelhorst.
Yeah, Tate's been playing in our JV games all season long, so he's obviously done a really nice job with that. So games like this where we're able to execute and get some guys in towards the second half, especially on homecoming, I thought Tate played awesome. Sometimes those kids are thrust into that situation and maybe aren't all quite used to playing with each other. Different guys are playing. But he did a nice job. I thought he scrambled well, which I've watched him practice all year. So, all in all, the 3 quarterbacks that were in the game, I thought they were composed. They ran the offense and they were confident and just did what they were asked to do out there, which is awesome to see. And Lucas continues to just play at a really, really high level. So, I'm just excited to continue to watch all 3 of those guys progress as we get going.
Don't be afraid to tell me that, no, it's just your mind playing tricks on you, Bryce. But it just seems like yesterday that Kampshoff, and he's done it all year at different points, but it seems like he's always been a quarterback that likes to roll left, roll right, and he did that more last night. But it seems like last night he stepped up in the pocket a lot more than he usually does, or I'm just seeing things.
Yeah, he definitely steps up in the pocket when Coach Huber coaches his tackles. If those DNs want to fly up the field, and they'll just keep shoving them 15 yards, up the field. And Lucas can step up in the pocket and escape right or left. Ideally, we'd like him to stay in the pocket and be confident in what he's seeing out there and throw the ball where he's pre-snap reading. But then, to me, when we get out on the run with him on the run and our athletes are out there in space just kind of making plays and running to the open grass, I think it's almost impossible to cover, all our kids out there. So we feel confident with him rolling out for sure.
Well, the hit chart for receptions last night, quick receiving stat dump. Tucker Gilmore, 4 receptions for 72 yards. Carson S, 3 for 53. Matthew Sheldon, 3 for 33 and a touchdown. Kayla Hazelhorst, as I just mentioned, had the 2 receptions from Tate Bestie for 29 yards. Cohen Zarbach, 1 for 26. Peyton Pearson, 1 for 17. Austin Goebel, 1 for 16. Cohen Zarbach, he has had some big plays this season. Is he just going to eventually continue that tradition, that Zarbach receiving tradition?
Yeah, he's our like a typical X receiver, as we call it. He's a possession receiver. He's going to get open. He's going to make the play. He might not burn the top off of a defense, but he's still fast enough to do every route we ask him to do. But he's been just from when he was a freshman till now, he's made a lot of jumps forward. And we have a lot of kids that we feel like we could throw out there, and we feel pretty confident in them, knowing what they're supposed to be doing and just executing at a high level.
Yeah, and then you also had, Carson Ness. He had that big reception on the sideline. I just talked with Coach Muth about that, and just towing the line, and that was just a heads-up play.
Absolutely. That's a big play. I talked to him pregame, and I said, it's a good game for you to go take over. And he may not have had a lot of receptions, but that's a critical reception for us. And for him to get that foot down, standing on the line, we had a perfect view of it. It was one of those where it's like, we need a camera crew here to take a picture of this. It was a great play, great job by him to understand where he's at, know his body, know that he needs to get that reception, but also have that foot down in bounds. And great job by him.
If only there was anyone that was live streaming that, we could see that again. I don't know where to go for that.
Yeah,
hey, that offensive line last night, the Yankton Moving Company, another solid night. We were just talking to Coach Hill about Kampshoff having more and more time to stay up the pocket, move more vertically up the field. And they did it again last night, giving that protection. Conway really stepped into that left tackle role. Really hasn't missed a beat so far, and that's a big ask for a freshman.
Absolutely. I thought those guys up front, they were really big last night. There were some communication issues, which we talked about that a lot, and especially Beal came in again last night at left guard, and Conway going at left tackle. Like you said, as a freshman, that is a big task. Anybody who's been in the Yankton community, part of the program, understands being a freshman playing at the varsity level doesn't happen a whole lot. We've had a few in the last few years, but historically that's not something that happens a lot. So for him to take that role, and he's very confident, but he's also great at communicating. And for a young man to come up and communicate, Coach, are you seeing anything I can improve on while I'm out there? What's going on? And this is all mid-game when I'm communicating with the O-line. That shows a lot of maturity with him, and the fact that he wants to do whatever he can for the team. It's not about, Coach, you see me do this. It's what can I do better attitude, which has been really fun to see. The other guys in line were killing it last night. Great communication. I thought Greil and Eustace and Cordell, those three were working that right side very, very well, and it was fun to see.
Well, they opened up some big running gaps. You had 3 traditional running backs last night. And we'll start with Matthew Sheldon. He's got more carries last night than he has most of the year. He's just been in that blocking back position and, just laying the pain on defense. But he got some carries last night, 3 for 25. That's not a bad start.
Absolutely. He's a guy who I've thought for a long time could be in the backfield easy, and that's why we have him at that H-back, and we've thrown in a few more sets where he's got the option of getting the football. Anytime we're running triple option and he's got it, I know Lucas feels very comfortable giving him the ball. And then one of them, we got Cirque leading for him, that's just really fun for me to see. Those two switching the roles, and Cirque's going to put his nose in there, and he's going to do whatever he can to get Matthew some yards. And Matthew's just a really strong, quick kid. I kind of joke with him a lot that he's basically our guard right now, running the football, and we have some laughs over that. But he's just a thick, strong kid who, if he gets moving, I don't want to tackle him. That's a tough task to ask anybody to do. So hats off to him last night. The other running backs did a phenomenal job as well. Cirque, I think anybody that watched that game last night, there was a few jaw-dropping moments for me where I'm like, wow, that just happened. That's a heck of a cut right there. That's a great power move through. That's keeping your legs driving. I mean, he had, I can't remember which play it was, but he had like 4 or 5 missed tackles on that.
Yeah, it wasn't even, as you mentioned, it wasn't even just cuts or finding gaps. It was yards after contact, and he just kept going.
Yeah, his yak yards last night were incredible, and he's always ready. That's the best part. You just see him, and he's always on his toes. He's always ready to go, fired up. And then Jay Slotchek coming in, showing us, and we talked a little bit about this last night as well, but showing us what he can do as a little more of that power back with a good amount of speed.
Kind of a hybrid, right?
Yep, absolutely. He's a guy who we're gonna have to rely on a little bit more throughout the season, and I hope that he really rises to the challenge this year.
Josue Trujillo last night, another solid night, 6 for 6 on extra points, 2 for 3 from field goals, and just really continuing that Yankton kicking tradition, right, Coach Hill?
Yeah, he played great last night. Brookings came after it on every punt. He did a good job operating up to the standard that we've set for him and getting off punts that were quality punts, and that's a tough thing to do when you're sped up a little bit. And then the field goal part of it, we expect 3 points when we put him out there, and he's again rising up to that challenge when our offense kind of sputters out. But he's just, I'd like him to continue to improve and just continue to be that confident kid that we know he is. And I'm just really proud of him and how far he's come just from, he's a senior now, but been working with him for a while, and just fun to see him progress and just proud of his effort.
The way you've talked about him in the last few weeks, well, all the season really, but it just seems like he just has the attitude that you are looking for.
Yeah, he continues to have a positive attitude. He's kind of got a little competitive edge to him, where he's he has like athletic mindset where some kickers maybe think maybe they're a different part of the team where they maybe it's a little more secluded and not as involved in things. But Josue's best friends with all the guys. He's involved in everything. And that's really what it takes, and they have his back, and they can trust him out there, and that's really special.
The special teams coverage teams, I'm thinking mainly like kickoff. They seem to be a unit that, yes, they're hungry, but they'll give to the 30 sometimes, but they're not really going to give up anything past that. It seems like a really good containment unit when you get down into the red zone area.
Yeah, just shout out to those guys. Again, some of those younger guys, that's where they get their shot to be on the field and make plays. A couple guys come to mind. Thomas Reardon played well. Jay Sedlacek, he doesn't get a ton of reps on offense just because of our depth, but he's a kid who can play. And when you watch him on kickoff, he is impressive to watch. He flies down there. He jumps over multiple different gaps of kickoff return to make plays. And I thought just overall, like you said, when we get out to the 30, the part that's really special is the kids that have contained responsibility, which is Cale Gary and Matt Grotenheis on the other side. They do a great job of containing and then allowing our other players to fill and then kind of limit the damage there.
Well, love to see it. And Coach Huber, you have Sioux Falls Roosevelt next week, so way too early preview. 30,000-foot view. What can you tell me about their offense or their defense? Excuse me.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty thick. They're going to be very physical. We know that. Seen a little bit of footage already on them. I'm kind of excited for this matchup, though. I think when we talk that moving company, this is going to be a big test for them. Going to kind of show us what they have and what they're going to be able to bring to the table. I like our matchup of our skill guys against them. I think that our speed is going to help us tremendously, and I'm confident in our guys. They're going to go out and they're going to battle for this one. It's not going to be any easy game by any means, but they're going to go out and they're going to work hard to take it to them.
Well, coaches, get out here, get to film.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you joining us. Have a good morning. Congratulations, a big victory.
Thank you. Appreciate
Bryce.
it.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
At Triple Time Rudy's, you get convenient access to quality fuel products. Plus, you'll also find quality South Dakota products like Dimmock cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. With a local-friendly feel and unique product offering, Triple Time Rudy's is your local convenience store that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers. For all of your daily fill-ups and convenience needs, pull into Triple Time Rudy's at 17th and Broadway.
Attention homeowners, if you've been on the fence about selling, I'd love the opportunity to sit and visit with you. With low inventory, now would be a good time to call me, Deb Speck at Vision Real Estate. I'll provide you with a free market analysis and a no-pressure approach. Call me at 605-664-5555 to find out if now is the right time to make a move.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
The start of a new school year is a good time to evaluate your children's healthcare needs, whether it is a doctor's checkup, replacing EpiPens for serious allergies, or renewing prescriptions for inhalers to treat activity-induced breathing problems. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall, and we pride ourselves in providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health contributes to good students. Celebrating 100 years, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, Yankton Rexall.
Yankton Medical Clinic is pleased to announce the addition of geriatric specialist Dr. Jennifer Philhouse to their team. Dr. Philhouse will help patients as they age and need an expert who understands the aging process. She uses the John A. Hartford Foundation 4M's framework in her practice. What matters? Medication, mentation, and mobility. If you or a loved one have reached the age where you need expert care, schedule your appointment with her today. Dr. Jennifer Philhouse. Just one more way Yankton Medical Clinic provides so much care, so close to home.
Coach Matt Decker, Coach Dan Schwach in the studio, continuing to talk Yankton Bucks football. Coaches, good morning. Sorry it took a little while to get you in here.
Oh, we're all right. Good morning.
All right, so a big victory for the Bucks last night, 48-0. We'll talk about your position groups, kind of on the varsity a little bit, and then we'll talk some JV football. Coach Schwach, that D-line, seems like may as well just record last week's segment and just replay it again. Hey, that D-line did great last night, and look at that, just another shutdown performance. The two things that stand out the most to me are them really just shutting down the edges, preventing any big sweeps or anything of that nature, forcing Brookings to run up the middle, and those big guys just waiting for him.
Absolutely. We kind of have, as a position group, our mantra is if you're not getting double teamed, you should feel insulted and get after it. So I think there were some times last night that Derek Beal in the middle and Riker Frang were double teamed and still made the play. So great to have those guys in the middle. Sure lowers the blood pressure during a game knowing that they're there. And you said it. Tyson Prouty, the return of Tyson Prouty last night. Great for senior homecoming. I know he was on royalty, had a good week all around. Just watched him a little bit. I mean, kind of on edge, maybe a few heart palpitations, but he got in. That knee seemed to hold up good. He got a little confidence and made a big play on that sack. So super excited to have Tyson back. And Edley Amaro learns more and more each week just about the game of football. I think one time we asked him, well, do you play Madden? He's like, well, I play FIFA. We're like, well, okay, so trust us then on what we're telling you. So he strung out some play. Yeah, those sweeps that Brookings does, tough to defend, but he strung them out, and you don't need to wait too long to string them out for those pretty quick backers behind us to come in and make a play. So good night. We're excited. Excited for the challenge of next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge. Coach Decker, receivers last night. Only one receiving touchdown that came from the backfield of Matthew Sheldon, but it's one of those situations where who cares? There's a lot of yards given to receivers, and they move the Bucks up and down the field. Just to name a few, Tucker Gilmore having another Tucker Gilmore night, 4 receptions, 72 yards. And then Carson Ness, I don't think I've talked about him enough this year as far as receiving. 3 receptions, 53 yards, a really nice grab on the sideline as well.
Absolutely. Carson Ness is overall embodies what we really want as a wide receiver. His route running ability is really, really good, and his hands are getting better and better each week. Not to mention he's playing safety on the other side, and he had a great game at safety last night. But he is doing really good things. Him and Cohen Zarbach are kind of rotating in at our X position, and they're doing some really good things. They just communicate well, and they're just playmakers, and that's what we really want out of that X position. But we have some guys coming up that in that junior class that for next year even that are going to be solid senior wide receivers too. But I thought that Carson Ness had a great game last night too, and like you said, Tucker Gilmore was rocking it, and Austin was doing both sides of the ball too, and but overall pretty good game for us.
And a couple other receivers, Kale Hazelhorse came in, got some big grabs. That's going to be a playmaker in the future. Peyton Pearson had a nice grab as well. Austin Goebel, of course. And then Cohen Zarbach, I mentioned him a couple times already this morning. There's the one grab, but here's the thing is if he's continuing that Zarbach receiving tradition, we'll see. But he seems to be getting more confidence out there.
Yeah, I think Cohen's getting a lot more comfortable out on the field. And, he had a couple times where he was near the out of bounds, and then they got him out of bounds, and the catch wasn't, a catch. But he's finding his way, and like I said, he's rotating in with Ness, and we just have a solid, pretty tight group of wide receivers that just really enjoy working hard and doing their thing, and it's fun to show up every day to practice and get to work with those guys because it's fun. They have fun with it, and that's what it's about, is those kids having fun and loosening up a little bit and executing what they need to, but that's what it's all about.
Speaking of solid performances, JV football 5-0 on the season after another victory. And before we even get to that score, is JV looking down at ninth or facing off against ninth grade to see who blinks first?
We'd be lying if we said we haven't talked about it a little bit.
Both 5-0, and I'm looking. I'm like, is anyone gonna blink, or what's gonna happen here? But it's really impressive. A 24-19 victory for Yankton at JV. That was Monday at Brookings. And I guess just opening thoughts, Coach Swak, as far as the defense goes, not a shutout, all right? That's no. But no, it was an excellent defensive day.
Yeah, not a shutout. We actually had a little issue switching our guys out on a man coverage scenario where they swapped out, and that was a play that we knew Brookings would run, and we knew they were going to run it on Friday. Knew it was coming where the two tight end side just ran a little vert switch and easy touchdown there, and they had a pretty athletic quarterback, so. Yep. As the game was going on, we just we're working on containing him. We were able to stay in man defense most of the time, and I uncharacteristically just kind of started sending a lot of players. And Coach Decker knows that I don't often blitz. I just sit back and let them make a play, but I thought, hey, let's send some. So I think we ended up with 10 sacks overall. Talon Kenny had 4 of those. And then Cale Gary and Jake Bivens on the edge had 1. Same thing, they kept contained, strung out those plays, and then Lance Payer from the strong safety spot came down, made some tackles. Reagan Wenish, another D lineman, probably the most technically sound lineman, I think, if you ask both Coach Huber and I, had 8 tackles. Reardon cleared it up. Caden Benson had a good play, and at the end, it ended with Chase Platt just somehow magically finding a turnover on 4th and 30, 4th and goal from the 30. It was 2nd and goal from the 2.
Chase
right spot, right time, pushes the quarterback away from the ball and dives on it to seal the game. So, gritty performance. So, like I said, that
10 sacks. Are we talking like 2,000 Ravens here?
Right.
That quarterback sure had to be pretty sore. And
Coach Schwack's got the defense rolling.
So, yeah, it was the goal line stand was huge, and kind of maybe we're a little flat coming off the bus, so that ended the game on a positive, that we had our backs to the wall, and Brookings, I think, really wanted that win, but held them out of there.
And then Coach Decker offensively, Jason Lachek got a lot of carries last night. Able to see what he can do at the varsity level. It was really nice, but excellent JV performance for him as well.
Yeah, I think starting off with this JV team, I think just to comment on the record right now, 5-0 is pretty good for a JV team coming out.
Yeah.
We have 2 games left, but to be honest, Coach Schwach and I don't really care too much about the record. We just really care how these guys are developing into Coach Moose's system and their offense. And guys like Jason Lachek, seeing them go from a really tough, hard-fought battle on Monday and then getting into the varsity game where they fit into Coach Huber's offense and Coach Moose's system, like that's what we really want out of those JV guys. And so Jace had another great game rushing, and Tate ran for 58 yards too, and Tate Bestie's doing a great job leading that JV team. He had a hard game. It was a tougher game for Tate because he saw a lot more different coverages. And so getting those reads, that's the development we want. We want him to be exposed to those reads too and the different coverages. So he was learning during that game, and he did a pretty good job. But like you said, he found a way and to make some touchdown throws, and I think he ran for one too. And but he's doing a great job. Easton Feeser, Cale Hazelhorst, Cale Gary, and Abe O'Brien are our starting wideouts for JV, and each one of them got at least one catch, which was great. But those guys are developing in the right way. They're developing in the right mindset that varsity players need to be, and hopefully in a few years be starting Bucks for Coach Moose's offense there. So, but it was a great, hard-fought game. They found a way to win. Like Coach Schwach said, Brookings really wanted that JV win. We saw some of those guys playing.
A lot of those guys playing last night.
Starting D-line last night. But, this sophomore/junior group in this JV team is really fun to coach because, win or lose, they're great at coming together and just having a very fun overall team experience. So it's fun. It really is. We have Norfolk on Monday. Sorry if I say Norfolk or Norfolk. I don't.
Honestly, here's the thing. I have gone back and forth on how to say it for the last 3 years.
I'm from up north, so I don't know.
I just say it really fast. Just say it really fast.
I say Norfolk when I say it fast like that.
Yeah, I've heard it both. So,
but we play them on Monday, and that's going to be our big test. There's a lot of lessons that this group has learned, and on Monday, we're going to see if they've been listening and if they've been learning them. So Norfolk's going to be a big test for us. So here at home.
Yeah, Crane, is that the second to last game? Is that the last one at home?
Nope. We got our
Both
last 2 ones are at home.
Yep, Watertown.
Watertown at home. Yep.
That's going to be a big one, too. That's looking forward to seeing those. And, so Monday versus Norfolk or Norfolk, who knows, whichever
one comes.
Yeah, whichever one you, the listener viewer, want to hear. That's who they face on Monday. What time does that start?
4:15.
4:15 over at Crane. Coaches, congratulations on the big varsity victory, but also the JV victory as well. 5-0 on the season, and I'm just going to ask all the same questions to the 9th grade in the next segment. And you guys go ahead and listen to see what they say about who's going to blink first. So I'm trying to kindle a rivalry. All right, coaches, have a good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bryce.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
The other day, a gal came into the UPS store to drop off a package. On her way out, she noticed the print sample wall and asked if we could print invitations. The answer was, yes, we can. Hi, this is Doug at the UPS store in Yankton and Vermilion. For over 7 years now, the UPS store has been helping hundreds of customers with their printing needs. From basic copies to business cards and invitations to posters, we can print them. Stop out and ask about our current print specials and see how we can help with your printing needs.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Investing in your home is easier and more fun when you have local choices. This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors, free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer, Upper Midwest Garage Door. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
And good morning here. Still Coach's Corner. Still talking Yankton Bucks football. Bryce Ladwig being joined in the studio by the Coach Savvies, Coach Jason Blake Savvy. Coaches, good morning. Did you get your pizza?
Yes, morning, and yes, we did.
All right. Why is this music still so loud? I don't know. Anyway, it'll go down. But yeah, so a big homecoming victory last night, 48-0 for the Bucks. And Coach Blake Savage, talk about that secondary last night. Carson Ness, the pick six, that was our move of the game.
Yeah.
I think the momentum was already, Yankton's game to have, but it just seemed to kind of put a stamp on it. Like, oh, this is Yankton's night. It's homecoming, and he took that to the house.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun play. I'm sure all the coaches have talked. He's a playmaker. I love watching him just react and make plays. And it was fun to see. I had said to Coach Olson before the game started, I was like, I really would love to see our defense score in this game. Like, I think we're ready for that. Let's see a big play. And that happened at a great time. Gained kind of officially solidified like the momentum swing and got us rolling. But that whole unit has just been, each week I feel like they've taken a step forward. There's some great coverages. Austin Goebel, I thought, played really, really well.
He had some big knockdowns.
Yeah, running with
receivers
receivers and breaking up, and almost had, he almost had his own pick six, but he made a lot of great plays. And Tucker, we have him down filling the box a lot more, but he is huge for us in the run game. He almost had a pick. I thought that they were just flying around, having fun, and playing with a lot of confidence last night. So it was really fun to watch that unit.
Is there something to be said about if there's like a 50-50 ball, right? Let's take Goebel, for example, right? He's covering his guy. You'd almost want him just to knock the ball down, make sure it gets knocked down rather than try to go for the interception, because there's always a possibility it's going to go the other way as well, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of drills with that to just help them figure out, where are you at position-wise, and are you in a position where you can go for the pick and still be safe if you don't get it? And if you aren't, then we're just going to go try and get a hand in there and break up the pass.
Well, they've all done an excellent job all season. That secondary, a young secondary, and they've been just as much a part of this defense. The defensive line has gotten a lot of talk from me just because of the pressure they've been able to bring, their aggressiveness. But that secondary really has stepped up the entire year as well and have made quarterbacks' lives a little bit more miserable as well. It's been really nice to see. Coach Jason Savvy, the rushing attack last night. You had three traditional carriers last night. Matthew Sheldon got more carries. He's gotten carries on and off, but he's been that blocking back, right? And he got to carry the rock a little bit and laid the pain in a different way last night.
Yeah, with Shaler Platt still being hurt, we're relying on, obviously, a lot on Evan Sirk, who had a great game, over 100 yards again, and some really fun runs to watch him.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about him. Don't worry about it.
Knock some guys over and cut and and then Matthew, we kind of Coach Hubers found ways to get in the ball a little bit more. He had a great just up the seam touchdown, pass that he caught, and so he's definitely helping us out in the passing game too, because you get the ball out to him in space and his big frame. Guys aren't going to want to come tackle him.
Once the film gets out on Sheldon, they see him carrying the ball. I think you're going to start seeing maybe the C part ways up the middle. Let's go. Let's go.
Yep. And then Jason Lachek, it was good to have a game where we could get him some more reps and get him more comfortable back there, because, down the stretch, you're going to rely on those guys. So everybody's got to be ready to step up when their number's called. And it was a good job of that last night.
Jason Lachek has been brought up 3 times in the show on purpose, because I just really feel, and I'll mention it again because talking running backs, is in the preseason talk, we talk about Jason Lachek being just as much a viable back as Shaler Platt and Evan Sirk, and he proved that he is last night. Just, Evan Sirk, as you mentioned, has just really hit the ground running, so to speak, and no pun intended, and has really dominated along with Shayla Platt earlier in the year. And just, I guess you can only have so many carries in a game, and so he just happened to be kind of the odd man out, but he is just as viable a threat back there as anyone else.
Yeah, when the JV was on there, that last drive that we scored on, that touchdown run that Jace had, I mean, you can see how fast he is. I mean, he's got speed. He's a strong kid. He'll run over people and through people, and I've been stressing that quite a bit with the backs. The YACs, the yards after contact. It's like get the yards you can, but then we don't go down that first hit. Keep your legs going, get as much as you can, and I see our backs really starting to do that. They're not going down real easily, and that's what we want to see. And then obviously the other big thing is taking care of the ball, and we've been doing that too, and that's the big thing for our backs.
Yeah, and then you have you mentioned him earlier, Evan the Muscle Sirk, 115 yards on the ground. You're talking about yards after contact. I think last night there was a carry where maybe he had like 4 different broken tackles.
Yep.
Looked like Eddie George of the old Titans or something, just going up the middle.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, he had that great run towards, I think it was the east end zone where he got tripped up, just, shoestring tackle, I think on the inside the 5.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to go, but he bounced off several guys there. He had another great run on the far sideline where he bounced off a guy and, probably got up to 10, about 10 other extra yards there, and then had a great run, made 2 just quick moves on his touchdown early in the first half. So, I mean, he's running the ball well. If he can get through that initial line there and see some space, I mean, he's going to get it because he's so fast and so quick, and his reactions is getting better and better.
Well, I'm asking you guys the same thing I just asked the JV coaches. So freshman football sitting at 5-0, JV football sitting at 5-0. Who's going to blink first? I'm trying to kindle kind of a some rivalry here, but they said that they didn't say it, but guys, I'm just telling you, I felt like they were trying to say 9th grade would blink first. What do you guys think?
I think we've gained good momentum each week. I think the guys are rocking and ready for the last 2 weeks challenge. So I don't know, maybe we'll put a little pizza of our own on it or something.
There you go. Yeah, so Yankton victorious at home Thursday, 26-14 victory over T area. As I just alluded to, 5-0 on the season. And Coach Blake Savvy, talk a little bit about the defense, some playmakers, and just kind of the game flow on the defensive side.
Yeah, defensively, again, what I was really excited to see, we kind of moved some people around. We actually moved Matt McQuaid more to an outside linebacker and put Brody Schrage in at middle linebacker, who hasn't, he's been a rotational player for us, but hasn't been an every down guy. And so really excited to see his name at the top of the tackle list this week because he really stepped into that role and filled it really well, obviously making plays and making reads. And he's just a guy that as the season has gone, he's grown, really taking ownership of our defense and learning it and just talking with me and talking with his teammates. So it was really cool to see him step into that role. As a team, defense collectively, again, I thought that we did well playing our gaps. They kind of, a double wing offense, and took us a little bit, I think, to get our, feet under us. But once we did, they did really, really well. One thing that's not on there that I kind of added is we did have Tucker Rankin with an interception. I don't know, third quarter-ish. But so that was on there as well. And just, again, collectively, I thought we did a great job covering up the passes when they were there and shutting down the run when we needed to.
You said it was Tucker Rankin?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to add that to my sheet. But, yeah, just excellent job defensively. And, I mean, it's now 2 games left, Coach Savvy. But is this just kind of the defense you were hoping for when you started the season? Because now you're at the point where everything should just kind of be a machine, right?
Yeah, I think we've gone back and forth and I always do this, where I kind of have to stop myself from overcomplicating things the better I feel like we're doing, because I'm like, oh, we can add more now. But I've kind of just made myself pause and like, no, we're playing well, just being simple, shooting gaps, playing gaps, like that. Let's just let them play that way and play fast, and they're doing really well with that.
Coach Jason Savvy, the offense, same kind of thing. I guess you could say that Miles Drotzman had an okay game.
Yeah, not too bad. Those are games where, guys like Miles make it pretty easy for me calling plays. So, I mean, he had some big runs. 58-yard run for a touchdown, 46-yard, 86-yard run, which was really fun to watch. And then we had one really good drive where we ended it, on a short yardage, 1-yard run. But, yeah, 15 carries, 283 yards. I mean, that's outstanding stats. I mean, you can't 18-yard average. So once again, the run game was clicking. So you don't see much in the passing game. We made a few connections in the passing game, but due to the run game being the way it was, and you got somebody like Miles who's just having one of those games, you just kept feeding him the ball, so it was fun to watch. And you can't do that without a good line. So shout out to our linemen who were blocking. Ben Bowman's been our center all year. He's doing a great job. He's even got some time up at JV, so that's fun to see. And then Logan Burnt and Max Muller, they're our left guards, and then Triker Myers. And then on the right side, we got Matt McQuaid at our guard and Big Jake Wolter at our other tackle. And can't say enough about how those guys have been improving and just continue to, open up some great holes for our backs.
Well, love seeing these names here and knowing that in a couple years' time, we'll be talking about them in the varsity level, like almost exclusively, and just seeing them perform down 9th grade as well. They were part of the parade yesterday, right?
Yep. Got to walk in the parade. That's kind of been a traditional thing.
It was hot yesterday.
It was a little warm.
I wore jeans. It was a bad decision.
Bad choice, yeah.
Bad choice.
But, yeah, it was good. It's fun for those kids. They know they're representing the program, doing that, and they have fun. Candy to the kids and everybody cheering, and, it's a good experience.
Well, excellent. Thursday at Watertown, second to last game. Is the last game of the year at Crane, or is that also on the road?
It's at Crane. Yep. Sioux City East will come. Yep.
But at Watertown, that's an ESD, another kind of scouting trip, right? And obviously for next year, for the future. Right. But that's just the way these games always go, just kind of seeing the other program develop as well. Kind of, it's just exciting. Do you guys just love road trips as much as home games for those kind of reasons, just kind of the team camaraderie and stuff?
I think it is really fun to see the bonding that occurs on the bus. There gets a point where they're like either sleeping or they're ready to be home. But like for a large majority of it, they're joking with each other, having fun, hanging out. Especially, we play on Thursday. So then on the way home from that trip, everybody will be watching Thursday night football on the bus, and they're all talking about, the NFL game. And there's a lot of bonding that happens on trips like that. So it's been fun.
Well, looking forward to talking to you guys about that Watertown. You said it was Sioux City East, right? The last game?
That'll be the last game at home.
Okay,
Yep.
We'll talk about that, preview that one as well. Coaches, any big plans this weekend?
I'll get USF for me.
We'll go
and watch the city rivalry up there.
Yeah, I'm going to go cheer on the Lancers tonight.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have a good weekend, coaches. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the varsity victory, but also a 9th grade victory as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Everyone loves something different about our buffet, which is good because buffet has something for everyone. This is Annie from Yankton Pizza Ranch. Come in and fill your plate with good food that makes you feel good inside. Don't see your favorite pizza on the buffet? Request it using Buffet Your Way. We'll make it, bake it, and give you the very first slice. Grab the country's best chicken paired with tasty sides and finish off with sweet cactus bread at Yankton Pizza Ranch.
Do you really think it's a good idea to buy insurance off the internet? After all, it is insurance. It's not a commodity like a toaster. It's a contract to protect what you value most: your home, your car, your business, your health, and even your life. You need a professional, in-person agent to make sure you have the right coverage to fit your family's needs. Schedule an appointment with us today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
Lancer Days 2023 begins in Yankton on Monday, September 25th and goes through Sunday, October 1st. Coronation will be on Thursday evening at 7:30 in Marion Auditorium. The parade will be in the downtown Meridian District on Saturday at 9:30. Tailgate begins at 3 o'clock on Saturday at Memorial Park, and the football game starts at 6. Mount Marty can't wait to see you and celebrate. Go to mountmarty.edu/Lancer Days to RSVP and see the full listing of events.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3, 7, or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3, 7, or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
All right, we continue talking to another Coach Savvy, Coach Caitlin Savvy, Yankton Cross Country. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Man, is it just right that you follow the other Coach Savvies?
Yeah, it's pretty natural. They're
Yeah.
great leaders and coaches, so it's cool to just be in the same town as them and kind of follow in their footsteps.
All right, I'll have you bring your mic down a little bit here. Don't worry about it. Yep, you're sounding good. All right, so let's start talking. Yankton Invitational at Fox Run Golf Course from last week it was rescheduled due to weather. Mother Nature did not want you to compete that day. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, we love the cooler weather, but unfortunately that rain and storm just kind of shut down the race. And with everything going on at Fox Run, we couldn't really find a date until this coming Monday. So we'll be ready for that this coming week.
Yeah, we'll preview that in a moment. But you did compete on the 28th at the South Sioux City Invitational Cross Country Meet. And just, you talk about a good performance. Boys and girls coming in at second place, just really both got off the bus ready to go.
Yeah, and there's so much to take away from this meet. I mean, it's a meet where our kids are tired from homecoming. They're excited, though, because they get to compete and kind of just come back with these medals and just times. But it was a fun race to kind of, like, bounce back after, like, being just kind of down at the start of a season. I mean, if we go back to our Augie Twilights, we were a little bit lower in our team places. And so to come back to this meet and really show, like, all these other schools that might have counted us out early in the season, like, don't forget about us. We're here, and end of the season, we're going to be back up in that contending for that state runner-up spot, whatever we can go after.
Yeah, and just why don't you go a little bit into the individual results? I'd just love to hear the times and just how that all kind of accumulates for second place finishes.
Yeah, so on our guys' side, our Bucks, Dylan Perry, he went out with a strong start. It was a very windy day out there, and there's not much protection from the wind out there. So just leading it, you're not going to have anyone to kind of go with and block that for you. So pretty gutsy of him.
You're taking the brunt of it?
Yes, yeah. Right? But he came in with a 17:02, and it's pretty good. I mean, I know he wants to be sub 17 most of his races, but it was just a challenging day with the wind and the course. Harrison Krosky placed 6th, and Abe Chance placed 10th. And those two, they ran so well together. I think majority of the race, they were just pushing each other, and they were right on Lincoln's 2 and 3 runners, and we need them to be there, if not in front of them. So just have them practice that and just know, like, that's what we have to be in front of at the end of the season was huge. And yeah, that helped us get to second place. Brighton Olsen, Ethan Brendan, and Carson Conway, they are always improving and just going after kids that we need to pick off as we earn team points. And so really proud of our Bucks varsity.
Yeah, and then talk a little bit about the Gazelles and just they not to be outdone, right? Finish second as well.
Yeah, sticking with the theme, another second place finish. Our Gazelles, they're so fun to watch. These young girls that we got to bring up this year, they just have a passion for running. And so to watch them start a race is really fun because they're like kind of like, oh, where should I be? And then like if they weren't up front, then they'll pick ahead and get back into that spot. Miss Rylan Jackson, she has been such a hard worker this year, and I know that each race she gets a little bit more confident, and she needs that because she is a front runner, and so that's great to realize at this meet. So when she goes into our last 3 meets or 4 meets, she's gonna put herself in that front pack so she can place well. But she came in 5th on Thursday. Abby Johannesson and Delaney Rounds came in 6th, 7th. It was fun watching those two push each other and then finish together. We had Shay Rumsey. She placed 11th, and it was really cool to go top 15 for her and get a medal. And we also had Claire Tereshinsky finish us out. And, yeah, great job by our Gazelles.
And then JV also competed, right?
Yes, our JV is a fun race for them. Another 5K when they typically run 4Ks. So like I said, in those conditions, they might have been feeling it just a little bit more. But they're such hard workers. On our Bucks side, we had Luke Jacobson, who he just went after it on Thursday. It was so fun to watch him. He started in the front and he finished 5th, so that was great for him. It was his second race of the week because he went up to Pierce with middle school, so that was really cool for him. Caden Hunoff came in 9th and he placed top 10, placed in JV. And then Isaac Peterson and Caden Weeman, they were top 15, so it was just cool to kind of see them start to improve in meets with how hard they're working in practice. And the rest of our guys did awesome too. So second place for them was a win.
Absolutely. And we kind of previewed Fox Run a couple weeks ago. We didn't talk last week because there was really nothing to talk about. We knew we were going to be able to talk this week. But let's re-preview Fox Run because it was rescheduled, as we mentioned before. That is Monday at Fox Run Golf Course, 4:15 start, I believe, right?
Yep.
And just ask this question again, but how nice is it, hopefully if Mother Nature cooperates, to be able to compete at home, the big home invite, and just a little extra pride, right? Especially coming off of homecoming week.
Yeah. I think it's so cool to have a home meet. I know how much parents and just the fans of our sports give to the kids and the athletes. So it's really cool that we can come back to Yankton and have just a larger crowd. It's going to be a smaller meet. Not all the teams could come back, but I think it is a great meet to really focus on how do we go about winning as a team. I think Thursday was a great click for us that if we want to make our goals at the end of the season happen, it's not one person does all the work. It's every person on this team, the 6, the 4, they need to show up and race too. And it's going to be a little fun with the teams that weren't able to make it. We have a smaller crowd, Mitchell, Gayville, and Centerville. And so we're running it a little different. Girls and boys are going to run together. So 4:15, we have our girls and boys JV team. And then following that, we'll have our boys and girls varsity. And I always like to combine them a little bit because you find those competitors. I want to beat a boy, maybe a girl says, and that's what she's going after. She's going to chase it down. And those boys, they probably don't want to get beat by the girls, so they're going to run a little faster. But yeah, really excited for Monday, and so glad Fox Run could help that meet happen. So,
our Yankton bias aside, how is Fox Run as a course? Is it a nice course to run?
Yeah, anytime you can get on a golf course, you have that great surface that athletes just love to run on. You get a nice bounce back. And I like Fox Run because you kind of get away, and sometimes you don't necessarily want to just be running loops, but you also end with just 2 laps past the finish, and it's nice for those kids to be okay, I can count down 1 more lap until I finish, and I'm on that last lap now, so I got to kick and just bring it home.
Well, excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And any big plans this weekend, Coach Savvy?
Just going out to support the Lancers, homecoming too. That's pretty exciting. So
yeah, back-to-back homecomings.
Yeah.
Yankton's going to be so tired.
Yes. Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, Coach, and congratulations on a great performance at the South Sioux City Invitational.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Hello. Here's to welcoming moments, big and small, embracing the unexpected, savoring life. At Avera, our nationally recognized health system will be right here with you, ready for anything. We listen to your goals and help you achieve them with care and coverage. We'll move you forward through sickness and health and every milestone in between. Avera, moving health forward. Learn more at avera.org/forward.
Truxedo is proud to have been part of the Yankton community since its start in 2000.
One of the things I love most is that they believe in promoting from within. I've been given many opportunities to advance.
Truxedo has an extensive variety of benefits available to their employees.
The work environment at Truxedo is extremely positive.
We are looking for you to join our production team. Visit www.truxedo.com/careers to apply.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966, and with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUG. KWGS.
With life insurance, Rhonda Westland with State Farm's got you and your future. You would do anything to protect your family and ensure that they have a bright future. But have you considered how your loved ones would continue on financially if you were no longer here? Life insurance is a simple and affordable way to answer that question. It allows you to say to your loved ones, "I've got you," and mean it. For more information, visit Rhonda Westland with State Farm at 1023 West 9th Street in Yankton.
All right, let's start talking Yankton Bucks golf with Coach Brett Syme in the studio this morning. The Bucks finished 6th in the ESD Conference Championship. Yankton on that was on 9:25. Monday. And a 318 score for the Bucks, 30 over. But Coach, you're talking about the average of the team being around that 320 and 318, so just below that, and consistency from the Bucks as far as if you're just looking at the stat sheet.
Yeah, we were seeded 6 coming into the ESD. We were hoping maybe playing at home we could maybe finish a little above there, but we knew we were going to have to play well. There's a lot of good teams out there. I talk about the big 3 in our conference, Watertown, Harrisburg, and Pierre. It's always going to be tough to beat those teams. Although Brandon did sneak in there and take a 3rd place, but Brandon has played pretty well this year. And Brookings snuck ahead of us. We were hoping maybe we could move up into 5th or 4th, but, Brookings snuck ahead of us by 3 shots. Mitchell, we ended up beating them, who was seated higher than us, so we ended up right where our seed was. So, at least we didn't drop down like we did in the Yankton Invitational, where we were 8th out of the 9 teams. But, I would have liked to seen us place a little higher, and I think the boys would have too, but we had a couple of great individual efforts. It was great to get 2 all ESD conference players during that tournament. Parker Riley goes out and shoots his best competitive round of the year, shooting 73, 1 over par. Good enough to tie for 9th, and to me that's still just crazy talking about how 1 over par is tied for 9th. But, it is what it is. A lot of good golf in AA this year. And Easton Velick, who's kind of been our playing leader all year this year, shoots a 3 over 75, good enough for a tie for 11th. So top 15 is all conference when we play the conference meet. So it was great to see those 2 be able to get that all-conference title, or all-conference moniker, if you will. Always good to see a couple of Yankton golfers or, multiple Yankton golfers getting all-conference. The rest of the team, again, we talk about it, seems like every week. We get a couple of guys that get under 80. We just need to get more guys around there. Riker Larson shot 84, Miles Kraske 86, Eli Larson 88, Kai Cody 91. And, as I look through those scores, again, we talk about it, seems like week in, week out, just too many double bogeys or more. And if we can cut down on those, team score comes down, we probably move ahead of Brookings, maybe get a little bit closer to where Pierre and Brandon were. But, that's what's going to take. And, here we go. We've run out of time. State tournament kind of action begins tomorrow. We're going to head out tomorrow about noon. We're going to head up to Brandon Valley, play a practice round, trying to get ready for the state on Monday, Tuesday. And then, go out and try and put 2 good competitive rounds together on Monday and Tuesday to see how we can fare. But, there's an outside chance that, a goal is always to try and get up on the podium at the state tournament, and that's top 6 there. Outside chance we can maybe do that, but as I look at the teams in AA, I think you've got 4 teams that have kind of solidified that they're going to be in that top 6 regardless. You got Watertown, Harrisburg, O'Gorman, and Pierre. Those 4 teams I don't see being outside of there. And Brandon Valley has really shown that they're, coming into their own and really playing well and getting to play at home. That can kind of do 2 things. You can either play really well because you know the course very well, or you put a little too much pressure on yourself, and if things don't go well, it can really go the other way in a hurry too. But so there you got 4 or 5 teams that are going to take some of those 6 spots, and that leaves a lot of other teams fighting for that 1, maybe 2 spots, depending on how Brandon ends up playing, to try and get on the podium at the state tournament. So there's teams like Sioux Falls Lincoln and Sioux Falls Jefferson, Rapid City Stevens, Brookings, who beat us at the ESD, Mitchell, who we beat at the ESD, but has beat us most of the time during the year. I think I mentioned Rapid City Stevens. Rapid City Central's even got a pretty good team, and even an Aberdeen Central has beat us throughout the season. So you've got a whole bunch of teams kind of fighting for those last two spots, the 5th and 6th. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and go up there and put a couple of days together, and hopefully it'll be good enough to try and fight for a spot on the podium. But looking at the weather, we've been pretty lucky this season. Haven't had a lot of wind, haven't had really any rain, except for the first day that we played, the Warrior Links Invitational way back in August. It was quite windy, and that was at Brandon, and it's looking like we might get the same at the state tournament. So looks like wind's going to start tomorrow, so we should get a good feel for it in our practice round. Monday looks pretty windy and warm. And then Tuesday looks breezy with possible rain chances. So, we always want to talk to the kids about, if you're going to complain about the weather, you beat yourselves already. Because everybody else is playing in it. It's not just a rain cloud over you, or the wind's not just blowing for your shot. Everybody in the whole field has to deal with that. And the better we can prepare for it, the better off we're going to be. And you can maybe beat some of the golfers in the field just by having a better attitude and being more prepared. So that's kind of the mentality you got to have going into that. And that's the talk that we'll have with the kids. They just got to be prepared for it. Maybe realize that scores might be a little up from what they normally would be if we play the Brandon Valley Golf Course, kind of like they were when we played that first tournament this year. But that they got to fight and scratch and claw for every stroke we can get, because if we want to try and get to our goal, that's what we're going to have to do to try and get up there on that podium, because it's going to be tough. It really is. We're probably on paper on the outside looking in, so we got to go out there and put 2 really good days together, and we've got to, like I said all year long, we got to stay away from those double bogeys and worse. But if we do that, might have a shot. And one last thing I would like to mention about the ESD tournament, I'd just like to thank Fox Run and their staff for hosting us out there. I'd like to thank the Adult Booster Club and then the Yankton School District Food Service for providing meals for us. Tournament went great. We ended up finishing kind of where I thought we could, hoping to maybe get a little higher. But yeah, it was a good tournament for us to get us going into the state tournament. And now we just got to hopefully maybe have 2 of our best rounds of the year and try and get up on that podium at the state meet.
3 things, 1 about the tournament, 2 that I just find interesting. You were part of the parade yesterday, and how was that for a team experience?
It was good. A lot of times we don't get to partake in the homecoming festivities because usually ESD is homecoming weekend, and we're usually out on the road playing a practice round on the Friday, because usually ESD's on a Saturday. It just so happened Fox Run had an event scheduled on that Saturday, so we had to move it to Monday. But, we're usually gone, playing a practice round, trying to get ready for the biggest tournament of the year up to that date. We miss homecoming a lot. We usually ended up watching it on the stream or listening to it on the radio, as we're all together wherever we're at. But, it was fun to get out there. I think the kids enjoyed it. Got to throw some candy to the kids, and they thought that was kind of fun. And just getting to be out there as a team, I thought the kids looked good. We had the slogan, pushing for a great finish at state. We had our push carts out there and our black shirts. And I had a lot of nice comments from people in the community that thought that it was great that we were able to be out there.
Well, Kirby was very thankful for the candy. She thought they were pushing strollers.
Yep,
so
that's
she
what
was
I heard
she was
too.
saying babies. And so that was interesting. Can you believe you and I have one more visit after today? That's how fast the season has gone, at least from my perspective.
Year in, year out, we talk about it. It's kind of a hard and fast season. It's 2 or 3 tournaments a week for 7 weeks after that first initial week, and it's kind of crazy. But I've been doing this a long time, and when we get to this time of year, it's just here, and it's hard to believe, but here we go again. And 1 more week. I've only got, after today, 3 more days. We'll head up tomorrow, play our practice round, try and get ready for the state meet on Monday, Tuesday, and yeah, we'll hopefully try and put another cap on a good Yankton Bucks season.
All right, and last thing is, how does the state tournament get broken down into 2 days? How does that work for kind of the schedule? How do they run that?
Well, the first day, the top teams in the state go off the front 9 first. So it's going to be Watertown, Harrisburg, O'Gorman, Pierre, I believe, or all 6 of their golfers go off first, and then the next 4 teams, which we're a part of, I think it's Brandon, Mitchell, us, who we all played together at the ESD, and then I think it was maybe Rapid City Stevens. I got to take a look again quick.
Sorry.
No, it's actually Sioux Falls Lincoln.
Okay.
So we're playing with those teams the first day in the later tee time. So we don't actually tee off till 10:10. The tournament starts at 9 o'clock. On the backside then is the lower half of the field. And I think they go from the middle of the field. So it would be like the 9, 10, 11, 12 teams. And then, after that. So some of the teams don't even have full teams in because of the qualifying score. But then the second day, they actually reverse that a little bit because they want the top teams playing at the end. So they'll take the 5, 6, 7, 8 off the front 9 first, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 come after that, with actually some individuals from other teams that aren't in the top 4 teams maybe getting thrown in there because they're trying to compete for the individual title as well. So both days start at 9 o'clock. It is not a shotgun start like most of the tournaments we play in throughout the year. It's a tee time, which is important too because you got to make sure you're on time. Otherwise, it's 2-stroke penalty or disqualification if you're not there within a couple of minutes of your tee time. So, you've got to make sure that maybe about 10 minutes before your tee time, you're heading to the tee box and getting ready to go and watching your teammates tee off at the same time. It gives the teammates some good, hopefully some good mojo as we go, into the day and to have somebody there watching them. And so, yeah, that's the way the state tournament works. And, we're just hoping to go up and put a couple of good days together and hopefully it'll be good enough to try and fight for a spot to be in that top 6.
We'll be keeping a close eye on it, Coach, and thank you for joining us, and good luck to the Yankton Bucks.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bryce.
Let's Coach Brett Syme, Yankton Bucks Golf. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Core Trust helps your business thrive with checking, online bill pay, small business loans, credit card processing, local approval and support for government grants and loans, investments to grow your hard-earned assets, and insurance to protect them. All from Core Trust, the community bank that's right down the street and everywhere you want us to be. Visit coretrustbank.com today.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Traveling to Yankton for business or pleasure? Then book your stay at Yankton's 2 best hotels, the Fairfield Inn and Suites and Holiday Inn Express. Both are conveniently located to everything in Yankton. Both offer complimentary hot breakfast and meeting rooms for business travelers. And if you want a great rate and still be able to change your reservation without a hassle, call either hotel direct. The Fairfield and Holiday Inn Express, 2 great hotel choices when visiting or arranging rooms for guests to Yankton.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT&RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
At Triple Time Rudy's, you get convenient access to quality fuel products. Plus, you'll also find quality South Dakota products like Dimmock cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. With a local friendly feel and unique product offering, Triple Time Rudy's is your local convenience store that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers. For all of your daily fill-ups and convenience needs, pull into Triple Time Rudy's at 17th and Broadway.
All right, good morning. We will start talking Yankton competitive dance. Coach Stacy Reichen in the studio. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, hey, so the girls performed at halftime last night of homecoming. Did a nice job.
Yeah.
The crowd very much into it. It was just a great night for them. We'll start with that.
Yeah, that's a fun dance for them. That's actually the dance they performed that morning at the Gong Show with the homecoming festivities at the high school. So we always like to do that one at a football game just because it's more relaxed and they like to see it, and their parents want to see what they do for the Gong Show, so it's our way of showing everybody. And, yeah, it's a fun little hip-hop dance. They took it from camp this summer, so just kind of a more relaxed feel last night for the team.
How was the Gong Show? I always like to hear about that.
I don't know. The girls,
yeah, that's right.
Since I teach at the middle school, I'm not there, so they have to go without me, but they do fine. They said everybody clapped, and they liked their dance, so that was good, and they thought it was good. One of our dancers, Melania Enfeld, was one of the MCs for the Gong Show, so she was like, that was so stressful. And I remember that last year because Madison and Maddie Wintz were MCs when they were juniors, and they were like, that's so stressful being up there. So, but it's always fun to see your kids do something other than dance and be involved in other ways at school.
No, yeah, I imagine. And on last Saturday, Yankton competed at the Harrisburg Invitational. Harrisburg took that team title, but dance finished fifth, and another solid performance from Yankton Dance. Tell me a little about that.
Yep, we've been having a really solid year. We've placed in the top 5. I should knock on wood because we're heading up to...
I think this is wood.
This is wood. This will count enough. Oh,
yeah.
Down here is... Okay. We're heading up to the Pentagon here after lunch for the meet today with Sioux Falls Roosevelt Invite. But, yeah, we've done really well this season. The Harrisburg meet, for some reason, I mean, this is the 6th time that I've gone to it as the coach. It's always a really hard meet. I don't know if it's, like, the atmosphere or, it's a great facility. There's plenty of locker room space for everybody. There's a nice warm-up space for everyone. But for some reason, it seems like the Harrisburg meet is always, like, a challenge for us. And I think it's mainly because, like, you're looking at all the Sioux Falls schools. You got the 4 public schools. You got O'Gorman, Harrisburg's there, Brandon's there. Not many of the ESD teams come, so that's maybe why it seems a little nerve-wracking for us because we're used to having Watertown, Aberdeen, Pierre, Mitchell, Huron, Brookings. And so without them there, it's kind of like the old school conference is gone. And so it's just a little bit different for our team. But I'm still proud of how they did. I mean, they did well. They've been working on some different things with dances. We went back and we all kind of agreed that we could have done things a little better, especially in our pom dance. Just like we didn't have that spark and that energy. So we've worked really hard this week to get that spark and energy back amongst a lot of other stuff for the week. It's been a very crazy week for our team.
Did you compete at Sanford Pentagon last year?
Yes, we do every year. Yep.
Okay. And how is the floor there? I always like to ask you about just kind of the atmosphere, but you always mention something like kind of the floor and how the mats are and stuff. Just kind of what's that like?
Yep. So the Sanford Pentagon floor is a little bit different. It's and the lights are even different in the Pentagon, which it sounds crazy that would throw you off, but it does slightly sometimes. But yeah, it's a bigger facility. So definitely when we talk today before we're warming up, we're going to talk about making sure that our energy fills this space and how much that takes. But yeah, the Pentagon is always a fun meet. It's just fun to be in that atmosphere in that old school throwback facility that they've established there. It's neat to see all the different memorabilia that's up. I'm excited because hopefully there's a Yankton Buck basketball jersey. They always hang the championships from the former year in the display case. So I'm excited. Hopefully that's hung up already by now. I hope to see that there today. So
if not, raise hell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll see what I can do, but I'm not that powerful.
Let that be like your focus of the day, right?
Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah. So you guys are leaving after lunch. You said, are you traveling up there as a team?
Yep. We'll travel as a team. Yep. We're heading up after lunch. I think we're leaving about 1:30. So we're going to get up there and warm up and compete and come home and see where it takes us. We're winding down to the end of the season. As crazy as that sounds, like we haven't gotten there, but I think this week with homecoming, now that's done. Now it's like, okay, this is really almost over. And how are we going to finish is our big question now.
Golf, tennis, dance, and cheer, the fastest seasons ever, it seems.
Yeah.
They just go fast. A lot of competitions jammed into a shorter amount of time.
Yep, it is. It's a quarter. It's 9 weeks of school and you're done.
Yep.
So, but, we've been working with the team since June. They've learned these dances in the summer. So the girls, it's a grind. And it's as a team and as a coach, it's how do you keep that motivation? How do you keep that determination? There's little highlight moments like when we won in Huron this week. That kind of gave them a little bit of push. Hopefully today we're going to come out towards, I would love it if we could place in the top 3, just to give that push a little bit more. I talked to them a little bit this week that the Sioux Falls schools, typically they don't go to the Mitchell meet we're going to have next week. However, Mitchell moved their date and Brandon also moved their date. So the Mitchell meet next week is the only one. So maybe some of the Sioux Falls schools will come back and go to Mitchell. I don't know. We haven't gotten the schedule yet. So, but like the fact that like Sioux Falls, Washington, Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, O'Gorman, we're not going to see them until we come to the state tournament now because they're not in the ESD conference. So this is our last chance to kind of look and see where are they at. Know fully well that Sioux Falls, Washington is going to come out and give the performance of a lifetime when we come to that state tournament.
A good old-fashioned scouting trip.
It is, it's, people scout with their team. I'm lucky because I have 21 girls that it's not just me scouting, it's all of them that their eyes are peeled. And if they remember, dancers are really remarkable. They can remember a lot of stuff about a lot of other teams. I'll think it's something new and we'll talk about it on the bus and they're like, they did that last week. And I'm like, they did? Yeah. So they're really good about that.
That's the benefit of having like 21 of them, right?
Yep. They all see something different and they all, bring that to the table and talk about, well, did you see what, Washington changed this hip hop trick and Brandon changed his turn sequence. And so they all notice that stuff.
Well, love to see it. Looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Again, that's 5 o'clock Sanford Pentagon, the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Invitational. Good luck to Yankton. Coach, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Coach Stacey Reich and Yankton Competitive Dance. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Attention homeowners, if you've been on the fence about selling, I'd love the opportunity to sit and visit with you. With low inventory, now would be a good time to call me, Deb Speck at Vision Real Estate. I'll provide you with a free market analysis and a no-pressure approach. Call me at 605-664-5555 to find out if now is the right time to make a move.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
The start of a new school year is a good time to evaluate your children's healthcare needs, whether it is a doctor's checkup, replacing EpiPens for serious allergies, or renewing prescriptions for inhalers to treat activity-induced breathing problems. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall, and we pride ourselves in providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health contributes to good students. Celebrating 100 years, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, Yankton Rexall.
Yankton Medical Clinic is pleased to announce the addition of geriatric specialist Dr. Jennifer Philhouse to their team. Dr. Philhouse will help patients as they age and need an expert who understands the aging process. She uses the John A. Hartford Foundation 4M's framework in her practice. What matters? Medication, mentation, and mobility. If you or a loved one have reached the age where you need expert care, schedule your appointment with her today. Dr. Jennifer Philhouse. Just one more way Yankton Medical Clinic provides so much care, so close to home.
The other day, a gal came into the UPS store to drop off a package. On her way out, she noticed the print sample wall and asked if we could print invitations. The answer was, yes, we can. Hi, this is Doug at the UPS store in Yankton and Vermilion. For over 7 years now, the UPS store has been helping hundreds of customers with their printing needs. From basic copies to business cards and invitations to posters, we can print them. Stop out and ask about our current print specials and see how we can help with your printing needs.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Investing in your home is easier and more fun when you have local choices. This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors, free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer, Upper Midwest Garage Door. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
All right, let's start talking Yankton Bucks soccer with Coach Dave at Dannenberg. Yankton Bucks soccer sitting at 10-2 on the year. Coach, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Oh, wrong mic. Coach, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
I don't know why this music is so loud lately. Hold on. Beautiful. All right. So on the 23rd, that was last Saturday, Yankton 4-1 victory over Aberdeen Central. Jack Patterson, 3 goals. Nels Hansen, a goal. Most importantly, Yankton claims another ESD title. Congratulations, Coach Dave Dannenberg and the Yankton Bucks.
Well, thank you very much. And I've said it to a number of people this week that as an old Yankton boy and being in the ESD, since the 80s, it's always very satisfying to, especially beating Aberdeen. I taught at Aberdeen Central for a year and have a lot of ties with Aberdeen, and it's just fun to beat them. They've got a lot of things going. They've got a bigger school than us, all those excuses, and for us to take it to them was just a very satisfying win. Fun to win the conference for the boys. I hope that gives them some confidence that we can just keep rolling. Also, just a great day in that we had the butterflies a little bit coming into it, but I tell them that's what makes you feel alive about life in sports, that if it doesn't have any meaning, well, then it's not worth doing. And they knew what they had to do. They could have come out and laid an egg, but they didn't. We were patient, had a good team. Man, Aberdeen fought hard. They have some great players, but we just made some great plays. The things that we've been working on in practice, we've been improving, and they've worked together as a team, and all of a sudden, it clicks, and we pass the ball around. And, Jack had 3 goals, but he's in a position that's going to get the ball fed to him a little bit more, as opposed to Ty Bindi or, any of those guys in the back line. They're not going to have the opportunity for that goal, those goals. And so great job by our guys to finish, for Jack. Just so much improvement by so many people. It's just really exciting to watch.
Well, my wife gets mad at me when I don't mention assists, and stuff. And as a defender from the past herself playing college soccer, so I apologize. I didn't write them down this morning, but the Yankton did a nice job of spreading the ball around. Yankton on the road on the 26th. That would have been Tuesday. Look at that math. And 6-2 victory over the Rough Riders on the road. And you had 3 different players of 2 goals apiece. Christian Pacheco, Anthony Alfonso, and of course Lance Dannenberg, all with 2 goals. Talk about spreading the love.
Well, that's, again, where we can move the ball, and our boys are getting good at, overlapping all these soccer terms that you use. It's one of those that if every kid just stands in their little spot on the field, nothing's going to happen. And our kids have gotten really good at, here's some open space, get the ball to it, and then you move to another open space. And we've really worked hard on our first touch, really worked hard on our communication. So when that ball is coming to the guy into space, somebody else is already telling him which direction he needs to turn. should he go right? Should he go left? Should he play it long? Is somebody behind him? What he should do with the ball, and that's really been the difference. And now we have some guys in the middle that are just able to shield the ball, touch the ball better, and then keep the ball going to space and making plays. And that's where we get, more guys scoring, and that's where Lance had a penalty kick, but, you like to move the ball around and then have just great goals, but we were moving the ball around and he came right in front of the goal, and all of a sudden kid just took him out, so he gets a penalty kick. And then he had a long free kick that just bend it right past the goalie in the upper corner, which, God, those are fun to watch. And, the other guys, Christian Pachenko had a ball that got crossed to him, and it was bouncing, and it was about waist high, and he just jumped up, kind of turned sideways, and just picked it out of the air, and bam, right in the net. And, good plays. Anthony is out there on the wings, and, man, when he has a chance to score, he is going, and it's fun to watch. And so it's always great to go out and beat Sioux Falls. Good match. Boys just played hard, played clean. So, their kids, too, just played hard, and it was just a great night for us.
Yeah, and Bucks currently sitting 5th in the AA standings. The next matchup for the Bucks will be the opening round of playoffs on Tuesday. That will be a home matchup. Brackets will be set, I'm assuming, Sunday morning or Saturday night, right? Is that when you usually get notice of who the opponent officially is?
There's 2 games left this afternoon. I'm not good at doing the math. I need Jackson Kronberg, our goalie, to do it because, man, he just knows all that stuff. And I don't think we can really change. The 2 games that are going to happen, really win or lose on either team, I don't think we're going to move. So I think we're probably locked into 5th, but you never know. And the lower teams could change. Right now, it looks like we're playing Brookings, which I am okay with that. The football game got out of hand last night, so I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to go home and watch film. So I watched a couple of Brookings games last night, and I hope we play them. I think they have a couple of weaknesses that we didn't exploit well enough the last time, and I think we can exploit it this time. They played Pierre 2 weeks ago, and they still were doing something that I think we can really take advantage of. So I hope it's Brookings, and then after that, we'll just see who wins and see where we go, or if we can have another home match. But the boys have done a great job. I just got to reiterate that all the way down the line. That just such a fun team to coach. We have fun at practice. They work hard at the things that we do, and so I really don't want the season to be over.
Yeah, no one does. And, I don't trust myself with the seed points. You're talking about that math. I think it was Bucks basketball. I think it was like 2019. I announced I was trying to do my own seed point math, and I announced the wrong opponent for, like, the Sodak. And so then ever since that moment, I'm like, no, I'm going to let the computer tell me what's going on. I'll wait for the official email confirmation as well of who the opponent is, but I'm sure the Bucks will be ready regardless. Coach, I'm asking you to talk about him. I know you don't, as his coach in that unique situation, don't often want to talk too much about Lance in that regard, but Lance Dannebring not only has had an excellent soccer season, but also the Pioneer Day Prince, and just a great student, great athlete, and from everything I'm understanding, just a great young man. Just kind of talk about the week he's had. It's been really special.
Well, it is, and I've been telling people that, he's just representing the high school, and he's representing the other 8 kids that were nominated for royalty, and, somebody's going to win. There's a lot of things that go into that. Lance is in a lot of activities, which he knows a lot of kids, and, I also tell people, I kind of wish I was him. He's just talented in a lot of areas. He's had the beauty of having a bunch of older siblings that have made their lives, and are on him, telling him, here's something you can do that makes your life way better. And one of those, just try to be nice to people, and that's, I think, one of his best qualities. And he's a hard worker. I mean, I've coached a lot of kids over the years, and we've had some hard workers, but since he was just a little kid, he's been in the basement handling the ball, just kicking it into the couch, kicking it into the wall. It drives us nuts sometimes when we were trying to watch a movie, but he has done everything that it takes to have the skills that he does, and it makes a difference. And people come to me a lot and say, yeah, when Lance is in there, he can just control the middle, and his skills are just fun to watch, and they really are. That's another reason I don't want the season to be over.
Yeah.
We don't know what next year is going to bring, and it's like, yeah, we have just some fun things to watch out there, and he is a big part of that. And we're really proud of him as parents and me as a coach too.
Well, Coach, we'll talk to you on Tuesday in the post game, and good luck to the Yankton Bucks. Thanks so much for coming in here this morning, and most of all, congratulations on that ESD title. That's something that's going to go up on the wall at the Summit Activities Center for, well, hopefully ever, right? But that's something that's never going to go away. So congratulations to the team.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and get in here on the Coach's Corner.
Everyone loves something different about our buffet, which is good because buffet has something for everyone. This is Annie from Yankton Pizza Ranch. Come in and fill your plate with good food that makes you feel good inside. Don't see your favorite pizza on the buffet? Request it using Buffet Your Way. We'll make it, bake it, and give you the very first slice. Grab the country's best chicken paired with tasty sides and finish off with sweet cactus bread at Yankton Pizza Ranch.
Do you really think it's a good idea to buy insurance off the internet? After all, it is insurance. It's not a commodity like a toaster. It's a contract to protect what you value most: your home, your car, your business, your health, and even your life. You need a professional, in-person agent to make sure you have the right coverage to fit your family's needs. Schedule an appointment with us today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
Lancer Days 2023 begins in Yankton on Monday, September 25th and goes through Sunday, October 1st. Coronation will be on Thursday evening at 7:30 in Marion Auditorium. The parade will be in the downtown Meridian District on Saturday at 9:30. Tailgate begins at 3 o'clock on Saturday at Memorial Park, and the football game starts at 6. Mount Marty can't wait to see you and celebrate. Go to mountmarty.edu/Lancer Days to RSVP and see the full listing of events.
All right, thank you to Coach Dave Dannenberg, Yankton Bucks Soccer. Let's turn our attention to Yankton Gazelles Soccer. And Yankton Gazelles fell to Aberdeen on that same Saturday doubleheader 4-0. That was at home, and then fell on the road 2-0. That was on Tuesday. And our very own Braden Butler yesterday actually caught up with Coach Tyler Schuring for the Coach's Corner. I was tied up at the moment, so thank you to Braden Butler for talking, which... If anyone besides me is going to talk to Coach Tyler Schuring, it should be the one doing the games. That is Braden Butler calling. He's done an excellent job all season calling Yankton Bucks and Gazelles soccer. But here's that conversation that Braden Butler had with Coach Tyler Schuring yesterday afternoon.
This is Braden Butler here for Riverfront Broadcasting. Joining me is Tyler Schuring, the head coach of the Yankton Gazelles soccer team. Coach, the playoffs are right around the corner. The regular season officially ending earlier this week. How are you doing today?
Not doing too bad. Ready to see who we're playing next week, though.
Obviously the regular season ending earlier this week. On Tuesday, you were up against Sioux Falls Roosevelt. The Gazelles fell in that one. Can you talk about some of the things that happened in the game and what you're seeing from your team, not only in that game, but in practices leading into the postseason?
Yeah, I thought on Tuesday we played Roosevelt really well. I thought the first half was actually one of our better halves of the season. We were able to get on the attacking side of the game for much of the first half. We created a number of opportunities, had the ball crossed into the box a few times. We put the ball off the post a couple of times, so we were a little unlucky there on some of the finishes. We had an unfortunate, maybe a questionable goal called back on an offsides during that first half that, maybe would have set a little bit different tone for the rest of the game. Defensively, I thought we played exceptionally well. At halftime, it was 0-0. So, so overall, it was a really good first half for us. Second half, again, same thing. We were playing really well. Roosevelt was able to put a little pressure on us, push us back just a little bit for a period of time, but defense held up, continued to stay organized. So, that's kind of been something that I expect out of the defensive side of the game recently with this team. Just kind of unfortunate goal that we gave up late in the game that, kind of forced us to open up a little bit and pull a defender again and put another attacker forward. So we went down 1-0 with about 15 minutes to go and, ended up giving up a late goal with about 2 minutes to go in the game to make it 2-0. But, overall we played exceptionally well. We had our chances, again, in offsides called back a goal on our end. We're creating some opportunities on the attacking side that we've been looking for. Defense overall played exceptionally well. So I think we're in a good place moving into playoffs here. It was just kind of an unfortunate result.
And as we are heading towards those playoffs right now, I believe, obviously there's still games to be played, so this could change ever so slightly, but the Gazelles slotted in at 13th right now heading into the first round. Would be traveling to Aberdeen to take on Aberdeen Central if everything holds true the way it is right now. So outside of talking about an official opponent until you know for sure, what are you looking forward to going into the postseason with this team that got in last year as a 16 seed, now showing a little bit of improvement, going up a couple seeds heading into this year's postseason?
Yeah, we've got to continue to be solid defensively as we've been building throughout the season. We've turned into a pretty organized defensive team. We work exceptionally hard on the defensive side of the ball. We need to continue working there. Once we win the ball, we need to continue to improve on how are we building out, making sure we're not just kicking the ball away and making it 50-50 opportunities. We need to connect some passes and really build and transition out from defense to attack. That's really been one of our focuses here the last couple of weeks. And that's something that we did a lot better against the Roosevelt on Tuesday than we did last Saturday against Aberdeen. So that was an improvement that we'll look to continue on. And again, something that we saw against Roosevelt, continuing to improve on the attacking side. We got to possess the ball more in the attacking half and continue to create those goal-scoring opportunities in some dangerous areas, and that's going to require us to get some players in the box and look for those crosses, whether they're early or late, and find those finishes and hopefully put the ball in the back of the net. But overall, we've got to keep the ball longer than we have been. We've been able to connect 2 or 3 passes here or there, but we've got to increase our passing strength a little bit more to allow a few more players to get forward, so we can maintain some more possession and get a few more players into the attacking zone that can help us be a little bit more dangerous.
For the last question, I just want to talk about the growth of the team. I know obviously you look at the numbers from last year to this year, moving from a 16 seed last year to now potentially around that 12-13 mark where you're at this season. Not only that, but just seeing from the start of this season to the end of the year, you can tell this team has really come together and started to gel on a good level for them. And could you just talk about the senior leadership you got as they're going through their last run here of their high school careers, and then also the underclassmen who have stepped up when they've gotten that playing time?
Yeah, from the beginning of the season to the end, it's been one of them things where we've been trying to find what fits best for the players that we have in the skill level that we have. We've actually tried a couple of different formations, even within games to kind of see what works best. What I really like about the group we have now is they're able to adapt. Soccer. It's defend, it's pass, it's receive, dribble. It's all that stuff. But it's the tactical awareness that I really like with what this group is able to do. They're able to adjust in game when needed. And as a coach, I've thrown a little bit at them this year. We've probably run 3 or 4 different formations throughout the year, just depending on game situations. And we've kind of settled into where we're at now. And I think that the team overall likes where we're at now, able to help control the midfield a little bit more and still supply some defensive cover there. So I think that's been aided with the growth throughout the season and just the improvement there. So that's been exceptionally nice to see. And then, it's been nice to see the upperclassmen just, continue to help lead, the youth that we have. And it's been nice to see everyone develop and continue to improve. And, hopefully that benefits the program moving forward, not only as we try to push through here in the playoffs, but in the future as well.
Well, Coach, thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk to me heading into the postseason here. I wish you luck in the opening round of the state playoffs and for the rest of the season.
Yes, thank you for having us on, and hopefully we get an opportunity to talk next week, and we put in a good performance on Tuesday and look to advance moving forward.
All right. Thanks to Braden Butler and Coach Tyler Schuring for having that interview yesterday. Always appreciate that. And we'll turn our attention over to Gazelles tennis. And Gazelles wrapped up their ESD conference competition in 5th place Tuesday in Pierre. And wasting no time at all, I've caught up with Coach Ryan Haig earlier in the week, and I'll go ahead and play that interview for you right now. Coach Ryan Haig, Yankton Gazelles tennis.
Let's start talking Yankton Gazelles tennis with Coach Ryan Haig here on the Pizza Ranch phone line. Coach, recording this on Thursday. Thank you for joining us.
You bet. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so the Gazelles finished 5th in the ESD conference meet. That was up in Pierre on Monday and Tuesday. I'll let you go through a little bit of the results. Coach, we didn't get a chance to catch up last week, so I apologize for that. But some big news coming from Gazelles tennis.
Yeah, the girls went to Pierre here this last week, and, as we know, it's something that we have obviously on the calendar. It's kind of highlighted each year. It begins the postseason, and it's just a great atmosphere with a lot of tennis and a lot of high-level tennis. And, overall, it was kind of a roller coaster ride to be perfectly honest with you there. And, we got there and, unfortunately, during warm-ups, we had, we knew that we might not be at full strength. And after we were done with warm-ups, we knew that we were going to have to, withdraw our number 3 singles, Addison Gordon, from the lineup for the day. A little bit of precautionary. We're trying to get her healthy for the state tournament, and we need to be careful there. And I think hopefully she'll be healthy for the state tournament. And so obviously pulling her out of 3 singles obviously affects our number 2 doubles team as well. So we played without 3 singles and 2 doubles, and all in all, I thought we did fairly well. Right up at the top, our rocks all season long have been Sabrina and Nora Kratzky. Both of those girls, have been, a huge part of our lineup for a couple of years now and remain to do so. Nora came away with number 1 singles championship. I believe it's her second ESD title in singles. Sabrina in singles finished a solid 3rd. I know her goals are a little bit higher than that, and she's going to be a force to reckon with. That's not only at the state tournament, but for a couple of years to come. And the 2 girls partnered together at number 1 doubles and avenged an earlier season loss to Watertown in the finals, and came away with a 10-7 victory for the number 1 doubles ESD conference championship. So those wins there really put those girls near the top of the flight order for the state tournament. And no one's going to want to see either of those 2 girls on the other side of the net at the state tournament. And then going down to number 3 singles, as I mentioned, we did scratch that, a little bit of precautionary reasons. And Addison Gordon has been doing a nice job for us all year when she's healthy, and hopefully she's healthy for the state tournament. At number 4 singles, unfortunately, Evelyn Lima, as she was a play-in match and couldn't quite get the win in the play-on match, so her ESD was done a little bit earlier than what she would have liked, but she'll come back stronger than ever, hopefully for the state tournament. At number 5, Kara Kerner really played an outstanding tournament. The results may not be exactly what she wanted, but she played outstanding tennis, in my opinion, and she started off, she was, I believe, the number 6 seed playing the number 2 seed in the tournament, and a girl from Mitchell who had beaten us twice earlier in the season. And Kara really played well and won that match and was able to put herself on the front side of the bracket. Unfortunately, she couldn't quite put the matches together for the last 2. So, she finished off the ESD with 2 consecutive losses, but they were close. and she is getting better every time she steps on the court. Megan Scott, again, had a couple tough matches in there. Was able to win her play-in match, and then had a couple tough losses on the backside of the bracket. But, she's playing as well as she's played all season long. And so, when she's confident, she plays very, very well. So that kind of wrapped up our singles tournament. And our doubles, as I mentioned, our number 2 doubles was out because Addison just wasn't able to go, so we went in with number 1 doubles, who won the conference title, and our number 3 doubles team played really, really well. Just couldn't quite put the wins together. As a matter of fact, they were playing the number 1 seed in the tournament first round, and we had them on the ropes. And we need to find a way to win those matches that. Not only are we close in, we also have a lead in. And once we can figure out and get the experience under our belts to have those types of situations figured out, they're going to be a very, very dangerous team.
All right, and Coach, with a week until the state tournament, I guess kind of a twofold question. One, how nice is it to have the ESD tournament Monday and Tuesday so the girls can enjoy a lot of the homecoming festivities? And then also, what's this week looking like for practice? A lot of fine-tuning?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The girls know that there's probably nothing they're going to be able to add to their arsenal that they can effectively use in a competitive situation right now. So it's exactly what you said: fine tuning, staying loose, focusing on conditioning and staying healthy. And we gave them Wednesday off. Monday, Tuesday, long couple days. They've got a lot of schoolwork to make sure to take care of. It's homecoming week, so there's lots of activities going on along with that. So hopefully the day off on Wednesday was beneficial for them. And then the rest of the week is going to be kind of hit around and kind of polish and polish and polish and polish. And, we've got, we had a couple good practices, on Thursday. Friday's obviously homecoming, so that'll be a little wishy-washy, I believe. We'll come back next week with probably Monday, Tuesday, and then a light hit around on Wednesday before we head up Wednesday night for the coaches meeting and start off the state tournament festivities.
How's the atmosphere up at McKinnon Park? Obviously, it's different for state tournament, but kind of my favorite question to you is always kind of how the courts play and just kind of what's that complex like?
Yeah, you go up to McKinnon Park. It's it's a beautiful area to be around, all the neat homes around the area and that sort of thing. And the girls have all been there before. They're very comfortable there. It's a nice atmosphere. It's kind of everything's in kind of nice and tight, and you get spectators up nice and close to the courts. And it's just great. Atmosphere all around, and in the fall with the trees and things like that, it's just a fun place to play. Obviously with the addition of the courts, the Sioux Falls Christian courts just across the interstate, they have 12 beautiful courts there as well that are brand new. The boys had the opportunity to play their state tournament on them last year as well, and that is a fabulous facility. And just excited and happy to have the facilities that we have in our area that can accommodate such a big and important state tournament.
Love to hear it, Coach. Hey, enjoy your homecoming festivities, and thank you for joining us here on the Pete's Ranch phone line.
You bet. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks to Coach Ryan Haig for joining me earlier in the week. And don't have Coach Taylor Stacy in this morning for Yankton Gazelles volleyball, but I do have results for you and some stats to go over, recapping the Gazelles week. Last Saturday, Yankton fell in 5 sets, 3-2 at Aberdeen Central. They won the first 2 sets, dropped the last 3. And Camille McDermott had 43 assists, 10 digs. Macy Drotzman, 19 kills, 3 ace serves, 8 digs. Cameron Koletsky, 12 kills, 3 ace serves. Jay Gier, 7 kills. Olivia Dimmer, 6 kills. And Peyton Mosier, 11 digs. The JV squad fell 2-1. Gracie Gutzman, 5 kills, 5 digs. Kayla Llewellyn, 13 assists, 8 digs. And Gier, 3 kills, 5 digs, 1 ace serve. Berkeley Olson had 9 digs, 2 kills, and 2 ace serves. The sophomore matchup, Yankton also fell 2-1. Berkeley Olson had 4 kills. Ava Horn had 4 kills. And Elena Nelson at 10 assists. 9th grade A team, 9th grade B team, both fell 2-1. And then on Tuesday, on the 26th, Yankton was swept at Sioux Falls Jefferson in 3 sets. Camille McDermott had 15 assists, 2 digs, 15 assists, 2 kills, 6 digs. Peyton Mosier, 18 digs. Ava Collar, 3 kills, 2 ace serves, 7 digs. Macy Drotzman, 5 kills and 6 digs, and Olivia Dimmer, 2 kills and 2 blocks. JV squad fell 2-0. Jeer, 2 kills, 7 digs, 1 a serve. And Kayla Llewellyn, 4 assists. Marilyn Smith, 8 digs, 1 a serve. Sophomore matchup, Yankton fell 2-0. Berkeley Olson had 3 kills, and Elena Nelson had 9 assists. And in the 9th grade, the A team, Yankton won 2-1, and the B team fell 2-0. Gazelles currently sitting 17th in AA standings. That was at the time yesterday when I was kind of going over this. So that would have been about at 4 o'clock yesterday. So they are in 17th in the AA standings, just on the outside looking in. Just need a couple things maybe to go their way or just get some victories. They have a chance at Sioux Falls Christian Monday, and then Thursday at Brandon Valley. That season is winding down as well. Yankton Gazelles volleyball. All right. Congratulations again to our homecoming royalty, Ava Bauman and Lance Dannenbring, Pioneer Days Prince and Princess. And that's going to pretty much do it for the Coach's Corner here this morning. Thanks again to our coach guests this morning, the sponsors. And, of course, thanks to you for watching or listening. I'm KYNT Sports Director and the voice of Yankton Athletics, Bryce Ladwig. Go Bucks, go Gazelles, go enjoy the rest of your weekend. This has been the Coach's Corner.